everyone, we're going to sketch a graph of this polynomial f of x and just get the general shape of the polynomial. We won't be doing minimum points and maximum points in this video. So let's determine the degree. Since this is not in standard form, we can just merely look at these multiplicities here, 1 and 2, add those up, and we get n equals 3. So our maximum turning points will be 3 minus 1, which equals 2. And our end behavior, we're going to do in just a minute. Just know that my lead coefficient's positive, and the degree is an odd number. And we'll talk about that in a minute. Now your y-intercept is when x is 0. So plug in x as 0. And that gives you 0. Our x-intercept, or our zeros, is when y is 0. So let's just make this whole thing 0, and you'll get this, this x can be 0 if you set each piece as 0, and this factor here would be 4. So that's going to be 0, 0, and 4, 0. Determining where y is the intervals where y is negative and positive we'll do after we graph. So let's move on to our end behavior. So we have our degree is 3, which is odd, and we have a lead coefficient that's positive. So we're in this area right here. That means, as I graph this cubic parent function, we're looking at our end behavior, which is right here. That means this part right here just means this. As x gets larger and larger, so does my y. And that means we're in quadrant 1. All right, x is positive, y is positive. As x tends to get smaller and smaller from 0, so does my y. And if we're looking from 0, that means we're in quadrant 3. So as we graph this from left to right, we're going to start in quadrant 3 and end in quadrant 1. So let's graph this. All right, here we have this. Our y-intercept was 0, 0. Our x-intercept was 0, 0, and 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. We didn't really talk about multiplicity much, but since we're starting in quadrant 1, as we go to 0, since this is an odd number, that means we can cross. Now, if you want to get precise, you can plug in this 2 here. This is 4, 0. And get the exact value, but I'm just going to sketch it here because we're going to get the general idea. Now, when we hit 4, the multiplicity here is 2. That means we can't cross the x, so we're going to make a U-turn and come back up. It really should be more like right there, but anyway, that's your general shape of the graph right there. Let me get it a little. It shouldn't be so pointy, but all right, so there's your graph. Now, we're going to determine where our f of x, or our y, is negative. Our y is negative below this y equals 0 line. So our y is negative right in here. That's where it's below the y equals 0 line. So that means negative infinity to 0. That's the interval. And then the interval where it's positive is where it's above this y equals 0 line. So this is the shape. It's above it. And so y is, or f of x is positive from 0 to infinity. And that's it. Thank you. Have a nice day. Bye-bye.